Welcome back to our little series where we talk about everything retention. Today we're talking about design, and we're here with Mariana. She's an amazing designer and part of the ZebiWorks team. Mariana, pass it on to you to introduce yourself.
Hey, Francesca. Thank you. Hi, I'm Mariana. I'm part of the design team. I have been working on email marketing for about 3 years now, and with branding for almost 6 years as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, obviously, today I wanted to talk about design with you, but specifically, I wanted to talk about visual hierarchy and the role that it plays when it comes to email marketing. Prepared a few questions for you. We're going to run them through together, a little bit of back and forth. To start, Mariana, I wanted to ask you, can you tell us what visual hierarchy is and why is it so important to grab the reader's attention?
Well, visual hierarchy it's the arrangement and presentation of the elements, so it guides the user through the email, and we can know where we want to direct the user. And the importance is that we will I also, as I was telling you, we will guide them through the email and get them to the more interesting points of the email that we want to highlight. Like it will be the hero, the CTAs, and it will also give him the clarity. And well, visual hierarchy is having things simple and concise, so that clarity is super important to get them to the CTA, and that will give us the click rate. And also engaging with the customers, we want to have them engage with the email. We want to have them looking into the hero and knowing what the email it's going to be about and read the whole email. And yeah, it depends on the narrative of the email that we have, like if it's educational, if it's sales, if it is maybe a discount. So we want to guide them through the whole email to get them to the CTAs, and that will be revenue.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Especially nowadays, it's so important to have a clear structure in order to achieve those goals, right? At the end of the day, what we want is for people to click through to get to the next step. So obviously, be well engaged with the email, but then to take the next step. I feel like a lot of people think that email is the end point. Email is just the beginning point. We want them to grab their attention. We want to entertain them, and then we want to move them along to the next step, which is likely on the website, on the client's website. Now I wanted to ask you, when it comes to techniques, visual hierarchy techniques, so how can we implement, what are techniques that we can put in place in order to achieve the results that we want when it comes to visual hierarchy, to have that organization in the emails that we produce?
In the emails that we produce, we have the most important section that is called the hero. That it's whenever you enter the email, what you will see. That's what's called the hero. So in there, we want to have the most important information, and we will have some different techniques that will be typography and font size. That depending on the information, you will have a header, subheader, and body copy, and of course the CTA. All of that, we want to have it on the hero. Below the hero, you can have as much information as you want. Obviously, you want to keep it simple, clear, but especially on that hero, we want to focus on that font size, on that contrasting colors and imagery. So we want to highlight the most important parts. If the branding allows us to have maybe some contrasting color, we can have it also in there, having the most important part highlighted in a different color, or maybe just having it bold. It will depend on your branding, but having that differentiation on the font, on different fonts, if your branding has it, also in the colors, and as well on the alignment and layout.
one one thing that I will perhaps add to that is, I think another very important element to create a really good structure in emails is perhaps spacing. I feel spacing is something that is not often talked about, because it's just a space, but a space is so important when it comes to balancing an email, and when it comes to really guiding that reader's attention to certain spots, and not getting too messy with all the different elements within the email.
Yeah, I want to add to that. I want to share a little technique that I use, a pixel grid. That it's the way I manage all my spacing. So everything will be multiplied by 8. So in between the header and the image, I will have maybe 8 pixels or maybe 16 pixels, and those same 8 or 16 pixels, I will have it between the image and the CTA or the body copy. So that's a great technique as well for having like everything super organized and having those white spaces that are also super important for leaving a room to the design to breathe and for the client or the user to go on the line of the reading email.
Thank you for sharing that, Mariana. So I wanted to ask you, always regarding visual hierarchy. The Previously we talked about what it is, how to implement it, different techniques. And I wanted to ask you, how do we know if our visual hierarchy is performing like we want it to perform? What are ways in which we can analyze the performance of our visual hierarchy in our emails?
Well, first of all, our marketers can help us with the analytics and performance metrics, with the click through rate, with the open rates, and with all the rates that we will find on the platform that we're using. Other thing that we can do is A/B testing, so we can know what our customers for each specific brand like most, or it's more likely to work. So maybe we will A/B test some colors or some imagery. If they prefer GIFs or they prefer static images or they prefer, I don't know, maybe red against blue. So there are some things that we can A/B test to know what that specific customers prefer, so we can implement it more on the emails that are coming. So the revenue obviously it's higher, or the click through rate it's higher. Other technique that we sometimes use is user feedback, so they can tell us what they like, what they don't like, and the satisfaction they have with the brand and with the emails.
Yeah, absolutely. Both A/B testing, extremely important. Something like it's a constant exercise. We always want to like test. At the end of the day, we can see like KPIs performances. If there is an improvement, we can tie that into like also our visual hierarchy, and a little bit more extreme, like something that perhaps it's a little bit more. There's more work involved into it. It's a little bit heavier lift, but definitely user feedback, direct user feedback is also extremely important. One thing that I would add, obviously there are like tools out there such as like Hotjar, Crazy Egg, basically heat maps for that works for email as well, that tell us like roughly where like our users spend like the most time within an email, like whether it's on the header, whether it's on the body, and a little bit how they move through it, what's their flow when they go through an email. So that's also like some valuable information when it comes to like our overall visual hierarchy. Mariana, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure talking to you, and it was a great conversation about visual hierarchy, and hope to have you here again soon.
Thank you, Francesco.